Okay. Well, good afternoon, Queensland. As we reported in the Parliament this morning, we have two new cases in Queensland. One is overseas acquired and in hotel quarantine. We do have a second case, which is a truck driver who lives at Windaroo, and he became infectious on the 27th of August. And he travels through New South Wales and into Queensland. He's currently back in New South Wales. He was infectious in Queensland during the periods 28th of August to the 1st of September. We are still seeking to interview this gentleman because he is working, and we understand he is on the road still in New South Wales. But we are testing his close household contacts. That means we've got 19 current active cases in Queensland. We did 10,433 tests and 21,086 vaccines. We do have another gentleman who isn't counted in our figures because it's a New South Wales case. This gentleman lives in New South Wales, was tested in New South Wales. However, he did travel to Queensland for 1 day while he was infectious. And he had gone to Goondiwindi, Archerfield and Bundamba. So we do ask people in those areas to please check the website, but we're also saying because the other gentleman lives in Windaroo, anyone on the Gold Coast should come forward if they have any symptoms. Of course, that goes for anyone in Queensland. We still continue to encourage anyone who's got any symptoms. We also reported this morning there is a family of 5 who we believe lives in Queensland but has travelled down to Melbourne and back again by road. They have children at the Australian International Islamic School, which is how we became aware that they had travelled illegally through back roads to get into Queensland. That school has been closed today, and I'll get Dr. Young to just update you a bit more about what actions we are taking. Unfortunately, the family have not agreed to be tested at this point. So we do have to be careful and assume that they could be positive, as some family members are unwell. So we are taking those cautious measures possible because they have been travelling in Queensland. The children have been out of school, and we need to make sure we don't have a situation where we have transmission happening in our schools and our community. And as we get more information about this family, of course, we will make sure we put that up on the website. But because they live on the Gold Coast as well, we do ask people to come forward, particularly on the Gold Coast, to get tested if they have any symptoms. I'll hand over to Dr. Young now to expand on those cases.
Thank you very much, Minister. So yes, we do have a number of concerning incidents that are evolving, and we're getting more information. But the most important thing is that anyone with any symptoms, it's really critical that you come forward and get tested. So we first have a truck driver who is undergoing his weekly surveillance testing. He was tested here at Pimpama in Queensland, and the result came back positive. But of course, as it's surveillance testing, he continued working before he got that result. So he was actually here in Queensland for 5 days while infectious, and we're just working through with his household to urgently test everyone in the household, and we're trying to contact him so we can find out what exposure venues there have been. So that is concerning, given that it's happened over the last 5 days. Then we have these other truck drivers that have been positive. We've had quite a few of them recently. The most recent one that I am concerned about is one that New South Wales tested and let us know about late yesterday, and he is actually here. So we were able to get information from him, and we've put up a number of exposure venues on our website. And again, could people please check those exposure venues and come forward for testing if they were there at the times that are listed. That's very important. Then we have this family, 2 adults and 3 young children under the age of 10, who travelled down to Melbourne and returned, we believe, police have informed us that they have information that they returned around 3 days ago, and 2 of the children went to school. And those children told their classmates that they'd recently been in Melbourne. So police then attended the school yesterday, and the family of 5 is now in hotel quarantine, and we're working with them. I'm sure that they're concerned and they're worried, and we're trying to work through that with them. At this stage, they have not agreed to be tested. So therefore I've had to ask that all children who attend that same school need to go into quarantine until we're able to get a test result from these 2 children. If we can't get those 2 children tested, then that school will be in quarantine for 14 days. At this stage, I've asked that only the children need to quarantine in their home, with a parent of course staying with them, but the whole household doesn't need to quarantine unless of course we get any positives out of any of the children who attend the school or the family. Then we'll continue to work with that family to encourage them and support them to get tested, because that's critical, because we actually don't know what we're dealing with.